Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who understand that there's more to entrepreneurship than finding the latest flash-in-the-pan strategies, who understand that in order to build your empire, you need a solid foundation. I wholeheartedly believe that entrepreneurship is the biggest self-development journey you can be on, and it's my mission to help you make that journey easier. I help you transition from a struggling, overwhelmed, and overworked entrepreneur to the relaxed and confident CEO and conscious creator of your dream life that you are meant to be. In this show, I bring together the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. I share my own experiences and knowledge as a molecular biologist and mindset coach for high-achieving entrepreneurs, and I interview other top scientists, coaches, and entrepreneurs so that you can get all the expert tips and strategies to help you trust yourself more, worry less, make better decisions, be more productive, stay focused and organized, and build your legacy. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist and mindset coach behind the show, and you're listening to the Wired for Success podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wired for Success podcast. Today I have the honor of speaking with Stephanie Mearse, who's an absolute powerhouse and one of those women who seem to have more than 24 hours in a day because she does so many amazing things. So she's a best-selling author, she's a motivational speaker, she has a radio show and her own podcast. She's the co-founder of a women's networking group. And as if all of that wasn't enough, she's also a mother, a wife, and involved in a number of charities. So I'm super excited to talk to Stephanie today because she is this living and breathing example of how you can achieve, how much you can achieve when you are on a mission and you have found something that you're truly passionate about. So welcome, Stephanie, and thank you so much for being on my show.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. So, Stephanie, the first thing I always like to ask my guests is to share a little bit about their background and about their journey as an entrepreneur. So how did you get started, and what is your mission as an entrepreneur?
I love that question. So, where I started is actually as a child. I lived on the streets with my drug addicted mother. And so I saw everything from gang violence to sex trafficking to, just some really rough things as a child. And I decided at a pretty young age that was not the life that I wanted to lead, and that I had so much more in me, that I wanted to help people not be in the situations. And so at a very young age, I got adopted because I decided to testify against my mother in court. At a very young age, I decided to be adopted by someone else, and we got adopted. And it's amazing because at such a young age, it transitioned my entire life into a much more stable environment. And that made me feel really great, right? Well, as I got older, I realized I had a lot of fears, a lot of insecurities due to the fact that I had such a rough upbringing. About 8 years ago, I had a mentor come to me and tell me that fear was what was holding me back. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, no, I don't think I'm that fearful. And, and when you're in it, you don't realize, I'm actually really scared, or, I'm like not realizing this about myself. Right. So my mentor, in a very nice way, said, you should list out your fears and overcome these fears, and then you'll be the best you can be. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I tackled each and every fear as fast as possible. And so, and that is in all different kinds of ways. My first two fears were flying and heights. And so the very first thing I did with my company was we went skydiving as a company. And it helped me overcome my biggest fears that were extroverted fears. And it was amazing because ever since then, I've done some of the coolest, most amazing things that are adventurous that I would have never done if I had not conquered that fear. And it was a perfect example of how as an external thing, how it's present and how evident it is as once you pass your fears, how much you can do. Well, when it's an internal fear, like a fear of failure of success or failure of failure in general, it's amazing how once you've passed that fear and get over that fear of failure, how you then become successful.
Yes.
And so for myself, one of the biggest things of when I started to become an entrepreneur about 8 years ago, I decided, I have more in me yet again, and went through my fears, got past my fears, and started to explore the world and do the world of finance. And then it turned into a women. And then on top of that, I had started the women's empowerment group because I wanted other women I could talk to and be a part of and help one another, and no cattiness, all of those little things that actually, like, that's all I really wanted. It turned into something really cool. And then it turned into something, then we went into another realm. And it's amazing how, as I'm conquering fears, as I get past these issues that I didn't even realize I had sometimes, it's amazing how then I can progress and get to new levels. And each and every time I do, I am just astonished at how much can be achieved, how many goals I had that are being achieved because those fears were conquered. And it's just,
I love that story. That's so powerful. And I can totally, I totally feel what you're saying, because it has been the same for me. So I've always been a very fearful, and I had all the fears. But as you said, as you conquer them one by one, you get so much stronger, and you do all the things that you never believed possible for you. And this is just so great. So I love that message. So when we think about our maybe say purpose in the world, or what we try to achieve in the world, I think that kind of two types of people. So there are those who always intuitively knew what they wanted to do in their life. Like even as a child, they knew they wanted to become a doctor or something like that. And then are the other ones who are having a really hard time figuring this bit out. So what do you think, what do you say? Were you one of those people who have kind of always known what they wanted to do when they grow up? Or how did you discover, or did you choose your purpose and your mission along the way?
What's amazing to me is I am a planner. I love planning things a year in advance, 2 years in advance, 5 years, 30 years. I love planning. However, what's really funny is whenever I go into a new adventure, it's almost like it's an intuitive decision. It's not something that I said, you know what, in 2 years, I know for a fact I'm going to be publishing a book. Like, I did not know that I was going to be publishing a book as fast as I did. I did not anticipate to be able to write it in a month. Like, I did not anticipate that to be a thing. But what's amazing is even though I'm such a planner, as long as I go with my intuition and say, you know what, like that, or an idea will come to me that I'm just kind of like, well, that's an interesting idea. Let's see what can actually come from this. And as long as you have that amazing plan or gift or whatever that ends up coming to you that you then can put into place or have something to implement, it's amazing how you then can create a plan from that then turns into something. And that's exactly what almost every single thing has been. It's something will come to me and I'll be like, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's try that. Like, that feels right. Yes, let's do that. And if something doesn't seem right or doesn't feel right or doesn't seem to be coming together, I don't even worry about it. It's something that's not meant to be. And so I, as a child, knew, well, at first, actually, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I realized I'm not good at debating, and I'm really not great at memorizing laws. I realized, maybe not a lawyer, but it was still something that I knew I wanted to do, something that was going to impact the world and in a positive way. That's something I knew I wanted to do. And it's amazing, even though it seems like I wear a lot of different hats, every single one of them relate back to, in some shape or form, my childhood. So in finance, when you don't have money, you don't have a place to live. You don't have food. You don't have these basic needs. So I help people with money, or with the women's empowerment. Not ever feeling like I had that support system as a child. Now I have a support system larger than I ever imagined, with these amazing women, and I'm helping these women and children on the streets, which I was a woman or a child on the street. So it's an amazing thing how each and every different hat I wear, and there's so many more, every single one of them relate back to where was I as a child and how did I want to help, and now I'm helping in those different ways.
Oh, I love that alignment, when it's just all lining up to come together to fulfill one purpose. But I mean, it's beautiful. Your story is so beautiful, but I know that a lot of people, they just waste so much time and energy trying to uncover their life purpose, when in reality I think we're free to decide or to choose our purpose at any given moment. But what do you think about that? So do you think that everyone has a unique purpose, they just need to uncover somehow, or do you think we are free to choose our own purpose?
That is a great question. You have the best questions. So, well, that's a great question. So my biggest thing is I believe that there is a purpose for each person. I don't believe that that may be our career. I don't believe that that necessarily is our family. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's our purpose is to be on this earth to work, 100 hours a week. Our purpose, in my opinion, is what are we on this earth? What kind of impact on this earth are we supposed to have?
Mhm.
And it's not about how can we find it and then do it. It's learning as we go what steps we need to be taking and eventually get to that impact. And we may not know for years. It could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. What is our genuine impact? But if we're taking steps right now, just doing the right things that feel right that moment, meaning like, okay, yes, I want to, I want to start this company, but I've been so scared to do it. I don't know if that's what's in alignment for my purpose. That may be one of the biggest questions right now, especially with what's going on, right? But the reality is it feels right if it's coming together and you can feel that it's not necessarily that that's your purpose, but it feels right and it's coming together very easily. There's a good chance you just need to make that move even in fear, or learn how to conquer that fear, one of the two. And then eventually, it's not a right away thing. You'll realize, wow, that was part of my purpose. I did not realize at the time when I was doing all of these different hats that they were all going to come back to my purpose. And it all did. It all does, because it was all in alignment.
Yeah, that's so true. It's a learning by doing, and you only understand in hindsight why it was necessary for you to take some of the steps that you didn't understand why you were taking them, right?
Exactly. And there's going to be opportunities that are presented to you too, that sometimes you think, gosh, you know what, I'm so scared to do something like that. I don't know if that's right. I don't know that it feels right. I'm not really sure. Stop getting in your head. You meditate or pray or whatever you do that makes you calm down and start thinking with your heart. And then eventually it will come into your logic that then comes into reality. It's amazing.
Yeah, so true. But why do you think it is that so many people have so much trouble just identifying something that they are truly passionate about and then creating, like you said, creating a plan and a mission around it? Why do so many people feel that they have nothing that they burn for or that they are really passionate about? What do you think that is?
Yeah, so I genuinely believe each person has different levels of passion.
Mhm.
So there's some people with a lot of energy that you can feel their passion through a computer screen. Okay. And then there's other people that are more reserved that are like, I'm not really sure what my passion is, but I know I like to go shopping, or I know I like to make food, or I know I like to do this. That passion may be much more subside than that person who's much more in your face about it. Right. So a passion can be varied in many different ways, but just evaluate what's something you enjoy doing. If it's something you enjoy doing, there's a good chance that it can turn into your passion very quickly. It's like that question. If you had $1 million and you didn't have to work, what would you do?
What would you do? Yeah. Yeah.
And if it aligns with something you love to do, like cooking or whatever that may be, there's a good chance that that's the direction you're supposed to go.
So
And
true. Yeah,
passion.
I love that advice. I always say, go, like, follow the joy and try test what feels good. And if it's the right thing, you will see, or it will feel right, and you will know what steps to take next. But if you find that it's not for you, then you can still just change direction and try something else. There's no harm in trying.
Absolutely. Pivoting is huge right now, especially.
Yeah.
Another The other thing that I noticed too is when you find your passion, it usually has to do something with helping others in some shape or form. So if you're cooking, you're helping somebody by showing them amazing foods, right? Or if you're doing, if you're a coach, if you're a life coach, you're helping people with their lives. Usually that passion and if it's alignment with helping people will eventually, sooner than later, turn into like the money eventually just kind of comes. It's a byproduct of that success of helping and finding that passion. Even if it's a small passion at first, it can grow very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I've found too. When you have something that's bigger than yourself and it's bigger than just making money, then it's something that just your vision just kind of pulls you forward and gets you through the rough touches. So I really think that having this vision of what you want to do and helping others is really, really important. And I think that maybe one thing why so many people struggle with that is that many of us grow up with this fixed mindset that limits the possibilities we see for ourselves in this world. So there are so many things that we just can't see or imagining ourselves doing, and that just limits our options. So from your experience, can you talk a little bit about the importance of a positive mindset in a world where we are confronted with so much negativity and so many challenges every day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So mindset, in my opinion, is almost, I would say, is a key to success, because if you have a negative mindset, the negativity will just come in and flood you completely, because it's so easy to be negative right now with everything going on. Especially, it's very easy to turn on your phone and see nothing but negative stuff, right? So I'm going to give you an example of how big I see mindset as. Okay. So there's me, who comes from the streets, who had literally nothing to my name, barely had any clothes, barely even take a shower. And I also have a stepsister who came from a very similar situation, a stepsister. I decided to have a positive mindset and make decisions to where I could see myself in a positive way. So one of the biggest things that helped me see positive things was, especially when you're in such a bad environment, is movies, actually. So one of mine was a Hallmark movie. It was a Christmas Hallmark movie. And I remember thinking, that's the life I want. It's a beautiful cabin. I see Christmas gifts, which I didn't get very many. And I see these happy families with food. That was the life I saw, that I said, that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
My stepsister, however, who's about a year older than I am, decided to live in a very negative mindset, who chose to stay in the life that we are in. And unfortunately, she's been in and out of jail many, many, many times due to drugs. She has many kids by many different people, and she has just been in a very, very negative mindset since she's never chose to have a positive mindset. Whereas I'm the complete opposite. I've never had a drug in my system in my entire life. I've never ever, I've never decided to, head that direction. Let's just say that. And granted, everyone screws up. Everyone has their positive and negative times, right? But the reality is I've always tried my hardest to make those decisions that I saw were wrong and not do the wrong thing. So mindset is huge. So I could be in my stepsister's situation very easily, because we came from the same upbringing, but we're in completely different situations because our mindsets are completely different. I see a positive mindset. I set myself up for success every single morning with a positive mindset, but also with a positive routine in the mornings that then create a positive day throughout the entire day. So in that positive mindset, it's amazing how anybody can achieve anything they want to, because they're choosing to head that direction, because they're choosing to make the right choices, because they're choosing to have the right morning routine or whatever that is to help them get into that positive mindset. And it's very easy to head in a very negative direction, and it's your choice every single day to be positive.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I was wanting to ask you about those practical tips that you just mentioned, morning routine and affirmations. So do you have a few practical tips that you would like to share with our listeners for creating a positive mindset?
Absolutely. There's so many, but I'll give you a few really good ones. Okay. So morning routine is huge. I'm going to give you just a few things that are really helpful for me for my morning routine. Before I get out of bed, I do not get on my phone. One of the biggest things that I see most people do is get on their phones and react to their emails, to their Facebook, don't go into the world starting your morning reacting. Go into the world with acknowledgement of where you want to go, and then you react. Wow. So you're going to start your morning off with some kind of prayer or meditation and see yourself on those appointments or whatever you have planned for that day and how you can see them be successful. Oh, I want to plan 5 meetings today, and those meetings are going to sign this, this, and this, and I'm going to do this. If you have that already in your mind as a vision and see what's going to happen, it's more likely to happen. It's, again, a positive affirmation. The other one for me is when I do my makeup every morning, and this may not be the case with guys. I mean, guys still probably take showers or whatever, right? But I listen to positive affirmations every single morning, and it's I am healthy, I'm rich, I am wise, I am all of these things, because it's amazing how after years of hearing that every single morning, you start to believe it, and it starts happening.
Yes.
It starts happening, and you don't have to pay $100 for something. You can go onto YouTube. There's tons of amazing resources out there. So what I'm telling you right now costs you nothing, but it makes a big or a world of difference.
It does. I love that. Yeah. I do it every morning.
Yes. And so there are very specific morning routines. You can see everything from a Tony Robbins morning routine that is highly successful for him. You can see other morning routines that work for other successful people. I honestly just follow the success. And if the person has certain successful things, I head that direction on whatever those morning routines are, because they're usually heading in that direction for a reason.
Yeah, so true. I mean, not everything has to work for everyone. We probably all have to find what works for us. But yeah, there's no harm in trying different things and see what works best for each one of us.
Like what you've heard so far? Then stay tuned for the second part of this amazing interview with Stephanie, where we talk about the curse of perfectionism and how to manage it, how shifting just one core belief can change your entire life, and so much more. Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show. It would mean the world to me, because you would help me reach more entrepreneurs like yourself who would love this show. If you'd like to learn more about creating a widely successful business without sacrificing your health, relationships, or sanity, make sure to stick around and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you think, heck yes, I want to listen to each and every one of these amazing episodes, but my day just doesn't have enough hours, well, if that's you, I have something special for you. To help me spread the word about this podcast, I've created a contest, and I'm giving away some super cool prizes for those of you who take a sec to subscribe, rate, and review the show. And one of the amazing prizes that you can win is to watch me create my brand new Get Your Life Back Productivity Powerhouse course that teaches entrepreneurs how to win back 1 to 2 hours of precious time each day so that they can do all the things they love. I'll later sell that course for 997 euros, but as a thank you for supporting my podcast launch, you'll get to watch as I create it for free. And just like that, you will have enough time to listen to each and every Wired for Success episode. Woohoo! To find out more about the contest and the other amazing prizes, go to www.wiredforsuccess.solutions/launch-contest. See you next time.